All right, welcome to another episode on the Hickory Chaz YouTube channel. Thought I'd try something new. I was playing with a group today, so gonna do a little bit of a voiceover today. How exciting. Didn't want to look like a dweeb out there commenting on my shots to a non-existent person. So hit a good one off the first tee there, set myself up. This is, by the way, the Flanders Gold to Red 18-hole golf course. Pretty good shape for this time of year. Hit this 2-iron pretty solid, just a little left of my line. Left myself a little chip over a bunker. Not an awesome spot, but on the upslope gave me a chance to hopefully make something happen. Little stabby, but actually had a fairly good chip given kind of the pin being tucked over the bunker there. Played with a great group today. This guy in the pink, that's a phenomenal pink shirt. As I stroke one for birdie, not to be today. And we move right along with a nice 5 to hole number 2. As pink shirt guy actually does a little aim point, which is pretty cool. Here we are on 2, maybe 150-ish yards. Bit of an overswing here. And I just pulled it. Wind didn't push it back to the right at all and ended up in the bunker, which I've gotten a lot better from the bunker, actually. It's difficult with the Hickory clubs, especially the Hickory Niblick, which is what I used on that particular shot. No bounce, so you really got to negotiate where your contact point in the sand is. And a pretty terrible effort for my par. I actually nicked the guy in my group's red ball. Bogey there. And a beautiful pull hook right into the trees. Swung out of my shoes on that one as well, but got lucky to have a little bit of a punch around the trees here with a mashie. Trying to get it pretty much anywhere, just short of the green to have a good chip at it. Executed fairly well. Left myself in an okay spot here to chip it up and try to get up and down. So the big theme today in this round was trying to get up and down. I wasn't striking it particularly well, especially on the front 9, but left myself in an all right spot here. You'll see some pretty fun up and downs actually through the front 9. Decent putt. Burn the right edge. And on to the next hole with a bogey. This one actually just clips the tree on the left. Thought it was going to be perfect. You can see I go right to the tee. Not to be, though. Needed a little more carry or a little bit more fade. Interestingly, so I have this punch here. Didn't shot trace it because maybe you can see it just kind of grazed the grass petals along its way. Onto my third, about almost 190 yards, I'd say. Another nice pull, and I go right to the pocket to hit another one. I got to get that pull out of my head. But as you can see, I obviously played my first one, found it just short of these reeds. And this is the first of a few really solid up and downs on the front 9. Great chip, about 20, 30-yard chip. And a nice putt. It's pretty funny doing the voiceover. Looking at my some of my terrible swings after the fact. And this is another one. Hit a tree. You could probably hear that. Ended up bouncing out right to basically the 150 marker. I had to remove it. Played a pretty terrible shot here. Had the entire green to work with on the left, and just kind of stabby right into the ground slice. Left myself in a pretty awful short-sided position here. But the short game comes to the rescue. Probably a few yards right of my line, but great result and a nice putt to finish it off. I'm liking this new putter. Cool hole here. Downhill. Took the mashie. And yet another kind of pull hook that hits the cart path, as it always does. And have another chip at it. The lefty in our group, the guy with the New York Yankees shirt, absolutely bombed it. So shout out him. He was a little squirrely off the tee, but when he got a hold of it, pretty special stuff, if I do say so myself. This was another really nice chip. Settle. And there we are, finishing up the three. So that's 3 good up and downs right in a row there. I'm realizing that, kind of watching this back, I've hit pretty much every shot to the left. So that's not great, but this one was a refreshing change from that.
Really good.
An absolute bomb right up the left side. Put me in a great spot for my second shot here. Wind kind of whipping into us, to be honest. And to be fair, this shot was pretty awful, with the pin staring me in the face. Just short right, another stabby one. Took a big divot, have about, 45 feet. A lot of back and forth break up and down the slope. I'm pissed, seemingly. And I curl it in for the par, lucky enough. As we move on to the 8th hole. Should set up perfectly for my draw, and luckily it does. On this particular one, right to the tee, always a great sign. Ended up just bouncing right of the cart path, but a great angle to a front left pin location. Little niblick. Pretty much had no idea what the distance was, and it shows on where this ball ended up, about 35 feet long. Just looking for a 2-putt. I've learned to be a little more conservative in my expectations, as well as my my thoughts around using these Hickory clubs as I tap in my par. A good par. Par is a good score no matter how you slice it. Talk about an awful swing. This one, I think the guy in the gray shirt in my group, I apologize, I forgot his name, commented and said something like, that was not how you wanted to strike it, but it works. Appreciate the candidness in this group. Maybe. I thought this shot deserved a little better results-wise. There's a big slope behind the hole that I thought could bring it back, but too wet out there. You'll see this putt, kind of what I'm talking about. There's pink shirt, looking great in the sun. It actually lips out on the left edge, and see it just kind of blows by. There was no stopping it, but step right up and Knock it in. I typically like to line those up, but in that instance, no problem at all. All right, here we are making the turn. Got some noise going on in the background. Some talking from the group. I don't mind. Actually, pure this one right down the middle. Tell him to keep talking. The rest of the back nine. Pin's wide open for me. Niblick. Just a strong, hard niblick. Just left of the hole. Really pretty shot there, to be honest. I was happy with that one. What I was not happy with was this putt for birdie. Pretty much a terrible effort. No oomph on that. Best shot so far for birdie and just squandered 100%. But short par 5 upcoming, so an opportunity to get it right back. I don't really know when I should be talking or commentating kind of over the video, but doing the best I can. Pin is tucked way on the right, as you can see here. Little downwind at about 220. Make a pretty good swing with this 2-iron. It came out super hot and landed, I think, on the front edge. Kind of barreled over the green, but have a decent chip at it. Chipping's been good today so far. Been getting up and down, so I'm optimistic over this one. And another fairly nice chip. I just saw this guy's putt. He was kind of giving me a last second read there. Hit it right where I wanted to be honest. You can't get too upset with those. Just didn't break as much as I thought or from his putt. I don't really remember what we were talking about right there. But whatever it was, helped me make a pretty decent swing. One of my better swings with the brassy thus far today. And he appreciated it as well. Got the mashy niblick in hand. Just in the left first cut. You can see my feet were really sinking down in that rough as I pull yet another one. Just terrible. 30 yards of green to the right. But I'll tell you what, the touch with the niblick, pretty good. As I tap in my par, just another great up and down. Two iron back in hand. Kind of scuffed this one up there, but up the left side, not in a terrible spot with the mashy niblick again. Didn't get a good yardage here, but struck it beautifully, actually. Right at it, too. Just maybe I ended up about 50 feet. Man, maybe not 50, but 40-ish feet past the hole. Really just trying to lag this. Now, the guy in the gray shirt in the screen here actually ended up, I don't think I captured it. He ended up making birdie on this hole, which was his second birdie in a row. And you'll see in 2 holes he makes another one. So he's on a heater. I think he was 2 under on the back at this point. So shout out him for some seriously good golf. Inspiring to watch. Tried to kind of punchy knock this one down on a great line. Just kind of hit the lip as I grab my right thigh of my shorts. Ended up in a really scrapey lie. Kind of chunked it down there. Not my best chip of the day. This hole has gotten me a couple times, actually, over the past few times I've played. It's only like 120 yards yet. For whatever reason, I can't hit it on this massive green. Ridiculous. Coming into the 15th hole, optimistic, par 5 after a just pretty horrendous bogey. And I really hammer this one. Definitely happy with the result here. I've actually been in this exact spot with my foot kind of in a little bit of a ditch before. A little bit of an awkward stance. Try to hammer it, and I just pretty much almost shanked it. Thought it might be short of this little creek, but alas, it was not. Had to take a drop there, hitting my 4th shot. Hit a pretty stupendous chip that doesn't have a tracer, so you have no idea where it's going. Up there about 10 feet. And here's the 3rd birdie in 4 holes out of this guy. He's walking it in at this point. I mean, really impressive stuff. Thought I could maybe get a read from him for the par, for a really, really solid par. No. And the head looks to the heavens as I tap in for my 6, my bogey 6. This is one of the harder holes that I've played on a public course in the northern New Jersey area. It's about 450, typically plays into the wind. Hammer this one right up the tree line. Carries the limbs there. Just in the right rough. Really happy with that one, actually. End up kind of nestling into a little ditch slash half grass area. So just trying to punch a 2-iron up there, chase it up as far as I can. The pin is so far in the back on this green. I literally have, I think, 100-foot putt here. This is a massive green. The pin is tucked. And you'll see one of the better 2 putts you may see on YouTube, to be totally honest with you. This is pretty special stuff to get the speed as perfect as I did, which I was super content with as I look back down. Here's the full group, a nice photo opportunity as I finish up a really, really good 2-putt par. No birdies on the card thus far. Hoping to maybe get one down in the next 2 holes to finish it up. Mashy Niblick from about 145, and I just skanked it up there, short of the green. Can the short game save me yet again? Clinical from Hickory Chaz. Tap it in with the wedge. Just a little cherry on top. A little bit of swag. Boom. Nice par. Really, pretty happy and proud of some of the chips and some of the short game prowess around the greens today, as this one is one to forget. I should have just kept talking over it. It was, just immediate pull hook. That was obviously my miss today. In a terrible spot. This is really a limp to the finish, unfortunately. Flared this one way out right. Missed the tree, but hit it into some really heavy rough, just short right of the green. Thinking the short game might get me out one more time. No. Just flub it short of the green again here. And here I go for another ball. There's a couple out there that I just needed to reset and hit again. I hit it, ended up hitting it over the green. So here's my first one. Nice chip here. Little voice crack on that sound bite. And we finish up with a nice 6. Good double bogey. Fun round with the boys. Great group. Some good shots, some bad shots. Look, we had a good time battling out there. I think I was ran up some numbers. I think I was 5 for 11 scrambling. So pretty good for me. I think it's a little under tour average still, but the expectations are certainly pared down. But grinded out a decent score, a good 78. We'll always take something in the 70s, especially with the Hick sticks. I highly encourage you to subscribe, stay notified, particularly for next week is our second episode of the Break 70 Challenge Hickory edition. It's on this same golf course, and we're playing a tee up to keep it within the 6,000 to 6,400 yards. Whether or not I end up breaking 70, but it comes down to the wire. I'll say that. So follow along, subscribe, like, comment, all those exciting things. Thanks again for following along and the support thus far. It's pretty cool to see some views pile up a little bit, and it seems like people are enjoying it. You guys are enjoying it. So thanks again. As always, have fun out there. We'll try to do the same. We'll see you next time. The only reason this is actually like my fourth take of doing this outro is this bee has been following me around. Feels like that's kind of a common theme in these videos. I don't like bees, especially when they follow me around, but I've had to get up and sit back down several times. So thank you again for following along.